Hey everybody, today I'm in downtown Indianapolis, and the reason I'm down here is because I want to get to the bottom of a question about downtown Indianapolis, and in part Indianapolis in general. Is it safe in downtown Indianapolis? So we'll get into some of that in this video. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, I'm Jason Compton with the Compton Home Group. Welcome back to the channel. If you want to know everything there is to know about living in Indianapolis or any of the cities and towns surrounding Indy, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and also tap the little bell so you're notified every time we do a new video. Now we have people reaching out to us from all over the country with questions about Indianapolis, of course, downtown Indianapolis, and what we're going to get into this video here, some of the safety in Indianapolis. So if you have questions at all about anything living in Indy or surrounding Indianapolis, then make sure you reach out any way that you know how. We'll always have your back with those questions, and we'll certainly have your back when it comes time for you to make your move to the Indy Metro. Today, like I said, I'm in downtown Indianapolis, and there is actually a lot going on. When I go out and film these videos, I don't want to just jump right into a crowd, so it doesn't look really like there's a whole lot happening right here where I am right now. But down here in the middle of the week, and there's plenty of noise, plenty of people. Actually, it's around lunchtime. Actually ending lunchtime, so there's a lot of people around getting back into the offices and all that. But question today, as I come up here to Illinois, dump truck behind me, a lot of construction going on down here, especially down near the Soldiers and Sailors Monument. Sorry, I'm just kind of looking around here to make sure that I'm good across the street. But one of the questions I hear, of course, about Indianapolis, and these are usually questions for people that have never been to Indianapolis or maybe just few times in the past, is a big one, is Indianapolis safe? So this is a complicated question, and it has some simple answers, and it has, of course, more complex answers, and it has just really, truthfully, all kinds of answers. It doesn't have one general answer. So in this one here, this video, we're just talking about downtown in general, but we can spread out from there some too. So I am walking around downtown Indianapolis, which usually always has something going on. And is downtown Indianapolis absolutely 100% safe? No. And that's a simple thing to get into about really almost any downtown of a large city. And Indianapolis is a large city. Now that's a whole other conversation or argument, maybe for another time, but Indianapolis is a big city. So the downtown area isn't the biggest downtowns of any city in the country, but it's not small either. Very walkable, so you see a lot of people just park, get out, walk to whatever it is they need to do and wherever they need to go, whether that's work or game of some kind. So there is always, for the most part, something going on down here. And no, it's not 100% safe. Of course not. So whenever you get a downtown area that has thousands and thousands of people at any one time, and even when it's not terribly crowded, there's still a lot of people around. So when you get that situation, of course there's going to be crime, without a doubt. So if I come down here to downtown Indy, and me personally, am I worried about my own safety down here? No, I'm not. And my family and I, we do come down to downtown Indianapolis occasionally, because we'll come down here for a Colts game, we'll come down here for, so I'm going to cross Ohio Street and go back to the south, close to Soldiers and Sailors Monument, making sure that traffic's not getting me. But my wife and I will come down here, we'll take our kids, and we really aren't worried about our safety, especially when we're out during the day like this. Even if we come down here at night, let's say, and we'll do that once a year or so. We'll come down to a Colts game, or we'll go to a Pacers game, or we certainly go to an Indianapolis Indians game, the baseball field down here in the AAA team for the Pirates. We do that, and we really aren't that concerned. Are we concerned about where we park? For sure, because just like any super crowded place, people are usually worried about their car being broken into. And I'm not alone in that. It's something I certainly think about, even though I'm not coming down here and concerned about my own personal safety. I'm definitely concerned about something like that. So I want to make sure I'm parking in a parking garage with plenty of other cars, plenty of people, well lit. If I'm parking here on the street, because I've come down here and I parked on Monument Circle, which I'm coming up on right now. Parked down here, usually there's enough people around not to have to worry too much about something like that. And you can park on many of these side streets, many of the streets surrounding here, which I actually did just today, and I'm not worried about my car being broken into. I'm not gonna have my computer out in the front seat. I'm not gonna have my wallet out in the front seat. I'm gonna lock the doors, make sure everything that's valuable is hidden inside. These are common sense things. Of course. Now, does it guarantee you're not gonna have your car broken into? Absolutely not. You know, it can absolutely happen almost anywhere. but I'm not terribly worried about it here as long as I'm taking precautions. Now, this music here is really, really loud. They have got it really cranked up. So like I said, there's almost always something going on down here on Monument Circle in downtown Indy. We'll maybe go off one of the side streets to see if we can get away from a little bit of this where you can hear me. I feel like I'm shouting completely. So what most people are really worried about, honestly, when they come down to downtown Indianapolis or Indianapolis in general, is there's property crime. Of course, that kind of stuff can happen. We'll walk this way towards the courthouse. Past a little construction zone here. I know the sun might be in the camera's eyes, but see here right beside me. People are worried more about violent crime. And is there violent crime in Indianapolis? Yeah, there is. Indianapolis does not have very good safety reputation overall. So if you were to look up safest cities in the country or safest large cities in the country, Indianapolis it's not gonna make the top 10. It absolutely won't. Is there a shooting in Indianapolis every now and then? Yeah, there is. Every now and then is probably a bit of a stretch. It's more like every day, every other day. It seems like there's at least one shooting. But I'm not worried about that, like a lot of people aren't either, because I know that most of those are in really confined areas, geographic areas, known for the violent crime, where it's consistent. A lot of times in these shootings too, people know each other. I mean, you can kind of go on and on and on. But the point is, there are lots and lots and lots of places in Indianapolis that are absolutely extremely safe and away from property crime, like your car being broken into, which can happen in the safest places in the entire world. It can happen. I can't promise you, I can't guarantee you, just like nobody could, your absolute perfect safety. But the violent crime as well. Nobody can guarantee that. Nobody can promise you absolute safety and a distance from violent crime of any kind. It's impossible. But we know statistically where a lot of that happens, and you can easily statistically look up these areas. And downtown Indianapolis, no, statistically it's not going to have the absolute biggest, but it's also not going to have the most violent crime, but it will have some. And the reason it has some is because you have such a high concentration of people, and usually, again, that violent crime is between people who know each other. It's not random, and it's not something that I'm worried about. There are places in Indianapolis, without a doubt, I'm not going to go. I don't have any business being there, and I'm not going to go because it could potentially be one of those exceptionally dangerous places. And I'll still steer clear of that as well, just like a lot of other people will too. But in general, if you're looking at a place like this, downtown Indianapolis, and I'm looking here at tons of people just walking around here middle of the day, and there aren't many people here that are going to be too worried about their safety. Most people are going about their day. They're going to the restaurants around here, going to the shops around here. They're going to wherever it is they work around here, just like me. I'm doing some work right now, walking around shooting this video, and it's a little more unusual for me, a guy with a camera walking around. I do get a lot of stares every now and then, people wondering what I'm doing. But the safety part, it's the furthest thing, honestly, from my mind. Even though I know it does happen down here, but it's one of those things statistically hard to argue that it's going to be a sure thing for somebody or that it's absolutely going to happen. When you get into crowded cities, crowded places, it's always a risk, always is. But it's not something that worries me terribly. It's not something that worries a lot of people around here terribly. But if it worries you, that's up to you, for sure. And of course, you need to do your own research about all of it and make your own determination. But if it's something that you want to discuss at some point, then make sure to reach out. Happy to chat with you about that and chat with other people who live in or around Indianapolis too. See what their opinion is, because everybody has a different one. So if you have any other questions about living in Indianapolis, any of the cities and towns surrounding Indy, reach out any way that you know how. And until the next one, we'll see you later.